Step into December 1972, and Wrestling World detonates off the racks like a bomb wrapped in glossy paper, its cover bursting with teases. The fabulous Moolah in an exclusive pictorial, Fuji and Tanaka, standing tall under the sinister guidance of the Grand Wizard, Fred Curry's scientific flash, Tony Marino's vow to stay on top, the reunion of Don Curtis and Eddie Graham after years of bloodshed, and Bobo Brazil's promise that the Sheik faces a long road back to glory. Page after page, the magazine unfolds like a circus parade and a courtroom drama all at once. The Grand Wizard struts forward first, crowing about his Orientals, Fuji, and Professor Toru Tanaka as the ultimate tag team combination in all of wrestling, boasting that his computer-like brain assembled them after plucking Fuji from Texas and nearly losing him to Tanaka, until the two proposed an alliance that turned into destruction. Wizard puffs about his past with Berend and Maurice, but declares these men greater still, while photos capture Fuji's karate chops and Tanaka's sleeper holds, with ceremonies of salt and stoic bows preceding every match, the trio daring fans to hate them while promising to go on forever. The story turns to Don Curtis, the Buffalo boy who toured Europe as Don Beitelman, dazzled with Mark Lewin in the 50s, battled the Grahams for the United States tag titles, and lived through the infamous Pepper in the Eyes television betrayal in Washington, D.C. Curtis recalls the Black Cape heel run with Lewin, the eventual Florida glory with Eddie Graham, and the wistfulness of losing the special magic he had with Lewin. Now, in 1972, Curtis rejoins Graham not as enemy but ally, burying the hatchet to combat the Funks. Eddie Graham steps in with blood-soaked memories of wars gone by, declaring Curtis a trusted partner, a calculated master, a man he could always rely on, as they prepare to face Dory Funk Sr. and Terry Funk in a new chapter of old grudges. Curtis reflects on the new breed: Bruno Sammartino, Jack Briscoe, Dory Funk Jr., Dick Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes, Fred Curry, Bobby Shane, Pedro Morales, Cowboy Bill Watts, quicker, smarter, better than his own generation, while Eddie nods in agreement, both men placing themselves at the edge of eras colliding. Then the champ speaks, Bobo Brazil himself, his voice plain and thunderous, recalling the Texas death match at Cobo Arena, where he cocoa-butted the Sheik into crimson ruin, dragged him to the center, and heard Detroit explode as 18 years of sweat crowned him United States champion. He refuses Abdullah Farouk's demands for an immediate rematch, calls Sheik tough but hated, insists the belt belongs to the people, and spits on claims that he's a coward. Promoter Francis Flesser toys with a tournament of champions, while Brazil declares he'll defend against anyone, but Sheik must wait. Title shots earned, not demanded, the belt polished by the blood of 1,000 battles. Next comes Fred Curry, matinee idol, with black boots marked by blue wings, adored in Detroit, flying through Cobo's rafters with head scissors and drop kicks, sending the executioner packing in just over 11 minutes. Lou Sahadi paints Curry as nervous before his return, pacing in the dressing room for 3 hours, fearing fans had forgotten him, only to erupt in joy when the ovation thundered. Flesser calls him one of the most popular stars ever to appear in Detroit, praising his looks, charisma, and high-flying science, while Curry humbly thanks the crowd, vowing to give them everything every time. Tony Marino takes the spotlight, the 35-year-old former Mr. America bodybuilder with red and white checkered slacks, glossy boots, and long hair, stylish outside but relentless inside, pumping iron daily to keep his body sharp, swearing he's hit the top and wants to stay there. He recalls how promoter Pedro Martinez phoned Fred Kohler in Chicago to book his debut at the Marigold Arena, far from Buffalo to avoid local pressure, and vows to stay in the spotlight by annihilating foes like the Sheik and Pampero Firpo. Marino admits wrestling broke his body, broken wrist, broken leg, broken arm, but beams with pride that his physique and discipline keep him relevant in a world of monsters. The fabulous Moolah spreads across the magazine in exclusive photos, astride her horse Blue at her South Carolina estate, lounging at home, proudly clutching her championship belt, symbolizing a decade of dominance in women's wrestling. Wealthy, glamorous, feared. Ads swirl around her like carnival barkers. Joe Whiter promising muscles in 7 days. Crash weight gain milkshakes. Killer karate crushers for bone-crushing grip. Torso toners to slim instantly. Drafting careers by correspondence. Accident investigator gigs with company cars, and even mail-order diplomas. The fan clubs take over in a flood. Ramon Torres' club, Jose Lothario's club in Miami, the Avengers Club in Georgia, Ken Taylor expanding Lone Star Wrestling into Wrestling Gazette, Mike Modugno reinstating the Bruno Sammartino fan club, Brian Bucantis launching Stranglehold, Rosie McCumber's Carpentier's Corner, Marilea Niedzial's Jimmy Valiant fan club, Kathy Selewski's AWA fan club with silk finish photos and bumper stickers reading, Wrestling is number 1, Dorothy Smith's Eddie Marlin Bulletin, Gene McEwen's Roy Heffernan Club in Australia, Joe Fernandez's San Francisco Star Wrestling Newsletter, Dave Brzezinski's Michigan Scene, Tom Roberts' Professional Girl Wrestlers, fan club limiting memberships due to demand. Pen Pal, please pour in from Manitoba to Pennsylvania, Australia to Brooklyn, fans trading photos, letters, and devotion. In the biggest mainstream splash, Shea Stadium is recapped September 30th, 1972. Vince McMahon's Outdoor Spectacular in the rain, drawing 22,508 fans and grossing $140,923.55. Both records despite weather that could have drawn 35,000. Pedro Morales versus Bruno Sammartino went 1 hour and 16 minutes before the 11 o'clock curfew forced a draw. Referee Dick Kroll ruling Morales stronger early, Bruno later, ending with an embrace and raised hand between two titans. Photos show Morales twisting Bruno's arm, vice gripping his head, Bruno stopping him in brief moments, both men immortalized in soggy glory as fans stood in awe. Detroit gets its own spotlight, hyped as one of wrestling's hottest towns with twice-monthly Kobo shows. Wrestling World's photographers capturing the fire as Brazil, Sheik, Firpo, and Curry keep the Motor City boiling. Willie Gilzenberg, Vince McMahon Sr., and others defend wrestling against boxing scandals, declaring wrestlers more reliable, promoters more honest, critics like Dan Parker exposed as failures, daring fans to accuse the National Football League of crookedness before questioning pro wrestling's integrity. The closing pages circle back to Fuji and Tanaka. Fuji recalls his toughest opponents. Red Bastion, Wahoo McDaniel, Johnny Valentine, Lonnie Main, admits he was once stabbed in the abdomen by a fan, praises teaming with King Curtis and later Tanaka under Wizard's command. Whatever Wizard says is law, Fuji says, crediting him for their Worldwide Wrestling Federation tag team titles. Wizard snarls in turn, dismissing Bruno, Morales, Monsoon, Sonny King, and Chief Strongbow as big nothings, proclaiming his Orientals the greatest, destined to stay atop the mountain forever. A photo album flashes Verengani, Wahoo McDaniel, and Bobo Brazil, while the final ads promise muscles, diplomas, and self-defense secrets in exchange for a few dollars and the stamp. Before the magazine fades to black, its December 1972 pages closing on a year of blood, glory, and fandom exploding across the globe.